To begin with, let us to introduce ourselves. First, Kelvin Saputra, and the second Nurul Hidayatul Umma, then Rinda, and the last one Zaidan Ibadur Rahman.
The first is introduction. Atkinson and Silverman, 1998. The inhabitants of the Western world are living in interview societies. For example, in Britain, by the time a person reaches adulthood, it is very likely that they will have had some first-hand experience of being interviewed in either careers, interviews at school, and of course later on in interviews for jobs. So, interviews are very familiar to us and of course very important to finding a job. Interviews are also useful in giving us privileged access to a person that these things allow us to know. And the next is the logic of the research interview or focus group. Patton, 1980, explains most interviews are understood not as reciprocal or two-way exchange, but as a mechanism by which one party, the interviewer, extracts vital information from another, the interviewee. So, the purpose of the interview is to get the right information from the source. The interview is also carried out by conveying questions from the interviewer to the source. And the purpose of a focus group is to unite perceptions regarding certain issues, topics of interest in the world of work.
Recent challenge of interview. Having previously explained that interviews consist of structured interviews and semi-interviews, one of the important things in an interview is a publication according to anthropologists Lucy Suchman and Bridget Jordan in 1990. In the article, it is written that the interviewer did misunderstanding by asking structured questions. In their article, two researches about interviews were written. In the first research, conducted by a psychologist who conducted an interview with a woman, the woman is only allowed answering three questions. It is never, sometimes, and usually. The psychologist keep asking the same thing. During the interview, the woman only answered no until she answered the third question with an honest answer. In this case, the researcher's error was in failing to appreciate a series of dialogues. If someone is repeatedly asked the same question, they will usually conclude that a response previously one was inappropriate. In another case study, there was a group interview with male students who attend an all-boys school. They talked about a weekend where his friend had good luck with a number of young women. We found three aspects from this intellectual pitch. The first is that when an interview is framed in masculinity, the consequence is that all participants will speak as members of that gender category. However, they, as jurists or researchers, are still unsure whether this gender feature is still relevant in all meetings. The second feature, worth commenting, brings us back to the point mentioned earlier regarding the conventional understanding of repeated questions. The third aspect of this data is when the interviewer gives what he imagines it to be, the correct or sought after response.
The method groups allowed researchers to gather qualitative data through group discussion, which can provide insight into the participant thought, feeling, and attitude towards the topic of interest. Focus group can be used in various fields such as healthcare, education, marketing, and social science to explore complex issues, identify trends, and develop strategies for improvement. The result of focus group studies can be used to inform policy practice, and further research. Every research method it has its own pros and cons. From interview and group focus research methods, we already highlighted some pros and cons. From the pros, these research methods support by highly effectively and efficiency unity from viewpoints and able to stimulate some condition. Cons, unfortunately, these research methods, especially group focus, will be dominated by the active personality ones, or we can say the individual error. Each person in the group focus may have different personality that breaks the discussion.
Okay, now we will discuss about truncation notation by Kyle Jefferson. It is known as Jefferson truncation system. It is conversational analysis code used by academics looking at speech painters. It can also be useful for anyone trying to annotate a conversation or the style or a participant to a conversation. There are several truncation notation systems, but one of the most commonly used is the Jefferson truncation system. Developed by Kyle Jefferson, this system uses a set of symbols to represent various aspects of speech, such as there are what we have explained from this video.
Thank you for attention guys, and see you the next video. Bye bye.